Soy water. Oh. All right. Well, floor dog, you doing right down there? Happy. Okay, there we go. We're up. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday. It's problems abound as always. The Fed gave mixed signals today. The market seemed to interpret it as there might be rate cuts in the future. But the Fed basically said the economy is not doing so hot. The market is. Inflation is a big concern. We are well above the 2% goal and going the wrong direction. If the economy collapses, rate cuts. And the market was like, rate cuts! It's all just it's so dumb. It's all so dumb. Powell was talking about how inflation is coming and it's going to get bigger, and that the tariffs are going to provide a single event that will increase prices and everything, but it will take time for that event to occur. And we're starting to see that. His other concern is that the federal deficits are up 7.5% this year, meaning we're growing the deficit, which means we have to print more money, which means we have to sell more bonds, but we don't have the bond buyers to buy those bonds. So I don't know where the money's going to come from unless we just straight print into, like we did in 2021, just print and send money out, not backed by bonds at all, which is a massive inflation cause. So yeah, inflation. That's basically what we got going on here. Trump said that he's going to send active duty military into all the cities in America, and he's going to crush whatever it is he's trying to crush. PXS said that he's going to have the National Guard carry weapons in DC now, so that we got a full-on military occupation going on. Everything's just fucked, dude. Just pay us so I can just... It's inevitable. What's coming down the pipe is inevitable. You don't unfuck that horse, as it were. And there's people who are like cheering all this on. They're like, yeah, and then meanwhile they're waving their "Don't Tread on Me," flags when they're with their Punisher stickers in their back window, combined with their Blue Lives Matter stickers. It's like, I don't know, dude. It's so stupid, and so many folks are going to get messed up by this. Not just folks who aren't pro-Trump or anything. Everyone else is going to get messed up by this. You know why food prices are higher? Food prices are higher for two main reasons: tariffs and getting rid of all the farm workers. That's it. Two actions taken by Trump that could have easily just been avoided by not doing either of those things, and food prices would be fairly stable right now. He put tariffs on coffee. We are not protecting a coffee trade. We have one region in the United States that grows coffee, and that's the state of Hawaii. And those people are actually switching over to chocolate in a lot of places. And it's niche coffee that's very expensive. If you want your morning pick-me-up, the fuel of the masses, what gets you to work and everything, you got to go get your Folgers and your generic coffee and brew it at home or buy it at the store. The prices are up almost 100% on coffee as a result of these tariffs. And why is there tariffs on coffee? Because the nation of Brazil had the audacity to arrest a former president who was involved in rampant corruption and tried to overthrow the government. That's the entire reason. It has nothing to do with a trade deficit, because we have we had a trade surplus with Brazil. None of that crap. It's all petty bullshit. As I said, you can break all the laws you want if you're inside the system. If you're Bill Pulte, you can go through private records of mortgages one by one, looking for violations of your political enemies. But you're going to ignore Ken Paxton and his 3 primary residences when you're doing that, aren't you? right? Because he's inside the system. If you're someone like John Bolton, who is a genuine piece of shit. John Bolton's a terrible human being. Large architect behind the useless and horrible wars we got ourselves into for 20 years. But he had such disdain for the way Trump operated everything and how dumb Trump was, even though they aligned politically on things, that he wrote a book about just what a dum-dum Trump is. And what did Trump do? He did a no-knock raid at John Bolton's house at 6 a.m. looking for classified documents. You know, the crime Trump did. So this is the end. This is it. This is the end. This is the end of America. And if we're lucky, there'll be parts of America that break free and are able to ignore all this. But they're going to try and consolidate everything under this like Gilead weird fascist garbage state that they're building. And your life is getting worse and will continue to get worse. So, you know, I think Washington, Oregon, and California really need to have a summit where their leaders sit down and they get some guarantees from each other about how they're going to navigate this and create a system that's possibly closed off from the rest of the country. I don't know what other states will do, but it'd be very proactive right now for these 3 states to basically discuss a post-America, because that's where it's going to be headed unless you want to be, you know, fodder under a fascist regime. But yeah, Ryan, you voted for this fucking shit, so pay me so I don't have to live in it. Okay. Let me do a clickety-clack here. Blink. Off. I don't want to fall for that again. Okay. Bill Coyne, history, super chats. History will show that the overthrow of Trump was actually directly related to coffee prices, not people wanting freedom. Oh, you got 300 million coffee addicts who all of a sudden are paying twice as much for their fuel. You want them to work 60, 70-hour weeks because that's all the Puritan work ethic? Man, you got to fuel them. There was a post as related to Mamdani running for governor of New York. And they're talking about, you know, Mamdani lives in a rent-controlled apartment. And he makes $145,000 a year. It's actually below middle class in New York. And that, you know, he's rich and you shouldn't have that rent-controlled apartment. It should go to a poor person. And I pointed out that there's 60,000 rent-controlled apartments that are being withheld from the market. Why? Because those landlords own apartments that aren't rent-controlled. And if they don't offer the rent-controlled ones, people are forced to go to the non-rent-controlled ones where the average rent for a one-bedroom is over $5,000 a month. Completely unaffordable. Right? Absolutely unaffordable. Nationally, the median family income, that would be their entire income, paying that rent. And these folks, they're trying to complain to me about how these landlords, you know, they need to do upkeep in the buildings, but they can't afford to do the upkeep because the rent is so low, so they just can't even offer the buildings to rent. I'm like, dude, they own the rich buildings too. Like, at any one point, there's about 18,000 homes for rent in New York. If you release all the rent-controlled units into the market, the city goes from 1.4% vacancy to like 5% vacancy almost instantaneously, and rent comes down for everyone. And they're like, oh, you know, he's talking about, you know, it's not like one company benefits from this. Kinda. I mean, most apartment units are their own companies, their own little shell corporations, their own under umbrella corporations. So when you look at someone like Jared Kushner, who owns, I don't know, 10,000 units in New York, or Blackstone, which has, I think, 13,000 units, they usually own even more than that under shell corporations. So they may own hundreds of thousands of units under shell corporations, which, you know, are set up in Delaware or South Dakota, and then then branched out through the Caymans or Belize or whatever before being wrapped up into the umbrella corporation of Blackstone or Kushner or anyone else. And you know, and then the argument from these like billionaire dick suckers is that, you know, why should poor people get to live in these high demand areas with rent controlled apartments when you can just let rich people live there and have the poor people go out to the hinterlands? And I was like, okay, make the poor people have to travel more and spend more hours on the train or car or whatever to get to these things, get to their jobs. Okay. And they said, you know, the businesses could just pay their workers more so they could afford to live there. And I was like, you do understand that the corporations who pay these workers wages that are poverty wages in whatever municipality, say New York, are also the same corporations who own the conglomerates who own the housing. They're the same people. They're all invested in Blackstone and BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard and everything else that has 7 to 10% chunks of everything on Earth. They're the same people all around. So yeah, my solution is you make every rent-controlled unit in New York City a nonprofit, and then you give them grants to soup up those buildings so that the living conditions are great. Get rid of the asbestos, put in new boilers, you know, get rid of the lead paint, etc. And then everything gets operated at cost from that point forward. Just do that. Because I don't want to hear another fucking landlord complain about how they're not making enough money. I mean, these dorkwads sent me a building that was in the Bronx for sale. The whole building, 50 units, plus 2 storefronts, $2.5 million. Let's say you take out a 0 down loan. That's $17,000 a month for 50 units, where the average rent was $1,500 a month. So you're making what? $42,000 to $49,000 a month profit by doing nothing. Just turnkey. $500,000 a year profit. Doing nothing. No upkeep. Not doing nothing to the building. And you can't make it as a landlord? Jesus. I don't even know how I'm going on this little tangent, but this country's fucked. Because we have a whole bunch of really rich people whining about how they have it hard. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy you, you magnet popping little turd. Stop it. They're just a bunch of angry whiners, and they've got nothing to be angry or to whine about. Oh, my life is so hard because I own a building and I do nothing and money comes in from everywhere. Oh, boo fucking who? Oh, my mansion in Greenwich needs some work. This country's fucked. We gotta eat them all. There's just no other way around it. You want to fix things? Eat them. Just eat them. There's a mosquito flying around. Where'd you go? Problem is, like, everything in my room is black and the mosquito just blends right in with it and I can't see it. Mosquito, that's a real problem. Mosquito in your room. That's some... Well, we got to sit here and collect $48,000 a month profit by doing nothing whatsoever. Anywho. Andrew Dowell's first. Woo! And the first to like. Now turn off the intro. Oh. Intro's up. Oh, wait, what? Why is the nighttime intro on? What am I doing to myself? Whoa, that was weird. I don't know why that was on at all. Let's click things at the beginning of the show. I didn't realize it. And Rand's Razzie Awards got some stickers thrown up there. It says hit that like button. Stir alert. Oh, Houston. Coffee grounds on Powell statement. Ross said it's more important to listen to what he didn't say. Also, when will Ross appear on here? Thanks in advance. Talked to Ross about coming on here. He was like, no. So that's okay. Probably because I'd say shitty things about Trump and he'd be like, I agree, but I don't want to be on record saying that. So he said no. But yeah, Powell did not raise rates. And he basically said more inflation's coming, So it's not going to get cut now. In the future, when the economy tanks as a result of all this inflation, we can probably cut rates then. That's basically what he said. And the market was like, yeah, the economy might collapse. Woo! Right? You are such a little turd. Why are you so needy? You are only needy the minute I start talking. I've been in this room for like 2 hours. And you've not been in here until I start talking, and then you're all over me. Okay. Polestar says, yo, watch South Park? I did. I watched it last night. Polestar, who's next to be raided by the FBI? Guess no one is above the law except for Trump. Oh, yeah. You got to have your Night of the Long Knives to get everyone else in line and take any threats to your power out from inside. Seriously, someone in the press pool needs to ask Trump directly this question. You say, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, are you aware that J.D. Vance is planning to overthrow you? That's all you have to ask. And Trump will spin like no one's ever spun before. It will become an internal bloodbath at that place. And it would be delicious. So, perhaps, I don't know, ABC's Rachel Scott might have the balls to do that. You think about that? Because that's exactly what JD was meeting with Rupert Murdoch about. It's exactly the entire point of what Peter Thiel wants, is he wants his JD puppet in there. So, yeah. Somebody's asked that question directly of Trump during the daytime, not while he's sundowning, during the daytime, so that his little paranoid brain can start having some narcissistic injury, and everything will just go absolutely bonkers. Someone can do it. Pulsar says, for him to wield and use it to attack anyone who opposes him, but hey, it's not me, so I won't worry about it. Exactly. Chris Taylor, hi, ouch. My no rate hike spy puts went to shit today. It looks like Powell's going to bend the knee, even though he says it's not because of Trump. Maybe I'll start betting the AI horse instead. Yeah. It's really funny because he didn't raise rates. He didn't lower rates. He just kept them exactly where they were. And the last time he kept them exactly where the market's like, no! Right? And nothing's changed in that respect. I don't know. Maybe they've got Powell's kids tied up in a basement somewhere at this point. So he'd be like, oh. But it's messed up. It really is. Polestar, ETH rocketing. Wonder if that's part of any play with GME. And I am looking forward to pure disappointment next week when this new hype date comes. Yeah. Well, I know that the Trump boys are buying Ethereum like crazy with their Liberty Capital. That they're spending a whole bunch of money on Ethereum. I mean, also Ethereum's going up like crazy compared to US dollars, but not compared to euros. That's a big thing, is that the US dollar is losing value like crazy, and that's why the prices look like they're going up everywhere. So, think about that. Ayn Rand's Res Award, Houston. Don't think Ross wanted to be on here. Houston asked him one time recently. I did. And Pulsar says Ross apparently is recovering from a voice thing or something. That also he said. Michael Tuo. Find someone who looks at you the way Monkey Butt Shredded Worlds looks at Houston. Well, right now she's on the floor. She doesn't look at me at all. Hey, Monkey Butt. She's asleep. She doesn't want to move. We had an adventure day today. Went to the beach. We went and had lunch with friends. Been in the sunshine. I had a second lunch in the sunshine because I did my cheese sandwiches and pink lemonade. And so good. Joe's Miami super chats. John Bolton 6 a.m. FBI raid is what Latin American dictators do to keep everyone in line. Mm-hmm. It is Banana Republic shit. That's what we're doing. And it's gross. One thing I am appreciating are the people in Washington, D.C. who have just huevos, men and women, and they're going around to wherever these little federal agents are, marching around their neighborhoods and just harassing them nonstop, calling them fascists, white supremacists, losers. You know, they may take off like their field kit and try to sit down in an outdoor cafe somewhere, and a woman will just walk up to them and be like, "Fuck you, fucking losers," and just harass them until they leave. It is beautiful, and what should be done for all of these guys. If and it will be, it's not really a when. I'm not really if. It's more of a when, I guess. When these folks show up to your neighborhoods, be exactly the same. Have the balls to be exactly the same. Yell at them. Call them losers. Call them little incel, dorkwad, racist, fascist dweebs that can't get laid. You know, talk about how if they're lucky enough to have children or grandchildren, those people will never talk to them and will have to wear your shame around their necks for the rest of their lives. Just be absolutely ruthless with them. Give them no quarter. Give them no peace. They are enemies of the state as far as I'm concerned. They are the domestic enemies of the state. They are here specifically to trample you and beat you into submission. So why submit? They're going to try to do it anyways. You may as well put up a fight, right? If the end result is the same, you may as well go into it with a little bit of pride and being able to hold your head high. So, that's my suggestion. I know that Pam Bondi wants to send a whole bunch to Washington with the crappy letter that she sent to Bob Ferguson, our governor. And Bob's being like, nah, screw you. Good. And I think democratic states should call up the National Guards early if these feds show up to do nothing but combat them. They are a domestic enemy. Treat them as such. What the president says is not law. It's not some sort of edict everyone has to obey. That's not how laws are made. So fuck that guy. Yeah. Lo Brasol, I really want to hear Trump say, "Hey guy." Parker and Stoner geniuses. Thanks guy. I like that he's got the flappy Canadian head too. All Saddam Hussein. Come here. You're back in here to bother me again, aren't you? Don't bite my knee. Jeez, my knees. Steel Horse Nomad, green, everything's green. Yeah. The leg guy, BBBY return, $10 a share. Perhaps. I want more than that if it is. Steel Horse Nomad. Who gave me a membership? I don't know. When did you get one? I don't know. Some memberships were given, but I don't think your name was in the ones I saw recently. I don't remember. Carver Walnut, at what point in the butterfly transaction do I not hate myself? Perhaps at the end, right? Yeah. Scratchy butt cat. Look at this. Look at those lovey-dovey little eyes right there. Yeah, you little loser. Yeah, you little turd. Okay. Only when the money is secured in your account, says Polestar. Exactly. Brandon Wells, sub BBY, sub USBC. BBY, we're waiting for the hype date. USBC, not a clue. They're doing Bitcoin things now, apparently. Hazel Allen 3343. BBY is getting close, and PP still won't do a show. That's how I get my info between him and Houston. Well, I don't like most info I'm reading now is just gobbledygook. Like, there's that one dude who just popped out of nowhere. I don't remember his name, but I'm constantly being sent to stuff. I've never seen his things before last week at all. His account was born in January this year, and he's writing all these things that just aren't true. Like, I think there's a butterfly transaction. I think there's going to be a reverse merger. I think that bondholders get paid out in equity, former equity holders get paid out in equity, cash, and possibly warrants. I think that stuff is coming. But this dude is claiming that like the QSIP goes live again on the 29th and that everyone's going to have to close out their things. And like, no, that's not how any of this works. The QSIP is not going live. BBBY is the ticker is being transferred to Beyond, and their QSIP is staying the same, and our QSIP isn't doing anything because it is deleted. So we're just waiting for waterfall transactions to happen. And that's what we're waiting for. That's all we're waiting for. Is for waterfalls to commence, and then we get our goods after that's done, or done at the same time, one or the other. So I don't really know It's like the strangest, weirdest hopium. It's like trying to build people up to an impossible task and be like, this is what's going to happen on this date, just to watch them get crushed when it doesn't happen. That seems to be the goal of this account. I don't remember the name of that account. Maybe I'll throw it in there. Yes, Infinite Matrix. Thank you, Fatal Wraith. That's who it is. Never heard of that dude. Never seen his stuff before, and I'm getting sent his tweets, which are just AI slop as well as all they are. They're just straight up AI slop, and I don't understand what the end goal is, because everything he's saying is inaccurate. And like how any of it happens. So yeah. The South Park was brilliant in how AI interacts with the users. It makes them feel like big brainy geniuses for basically just filleting them. You know, like, I have this terrible idea. That's a great idea. Let's think about some ways we can make that actionable. Want me to write a business plan for you? It's so... it's our future. It's our future, you dumb cat. It's our future. We're stuck in it. We're stuck in a stupid authoritarian state with everyone asking ChatGPT for their opinions on things. Okay. Oh shoot, there's a reset of the chat. I gotta scroll back up here 1 sec. Okay. Hazel Allen, B-Boy's getting close. PP, oh, I did that one already. Blah, blah, blah. Jose Rosario, 623, Houston. Have you seen all the bonds that Trump bought? The shit is cartoonish at this point. Yeah, he bought $100 million in bonds. And I think his goal is he wants a giant rate cut, so his high rate bonds are worth more and he can dump them for profit. Right? Right, little biscuit? Right, little, are you going to attack me? I'm rubbing your belly. It's what you love the most. You big old fupa. Yeah. Oga, doga, 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 doga. All right, get your tail off my mouse. Keegan Murphy says happy birthday, Houston. Fred Jones, it's happening. Japan falls, Canada folds, the Trumpy, RC still sitting on the couch crying, Pulte telling more lies, jail anyone. Jose Rosario, also, they are buying paint from Acme to paint the border wall black. 20 years in the army, and that's the stupidest thing I heard, and I arranged rocks in front of HQ once. They're not just painting the border wall black, they're painting the north side of the border wall black. If you know anything about color wheels or visible light spectrum, things like that, black absorbs heat, but also releases heat very quickly. Allows things to cool off very quickly. Whereas lighter colors takes longer to absorb the heat and then holds on to it for a longer period of time. So if you're painting the north side, which doesn't get any sunshine because the border is below the Tropic of Cancer, right? It will never shine on that to heat it up. Instead, it will shine on the other side and then quickly radiate that heat away on the north side of the fence. Also, there's gloves. People can just wear gloves and then shimmy up that stupid thing. It's a giant waste of money. Doge should have done something about that. That was a huge waste of money. Just, yeah. Iggy, Marcus is openly asking... Oh, sorry, I can't read. Marcus is openly trying to ask for regulation cuts, and he sounds like he's attempting to bribe an elected official on social media. Yeah, I mean, that's what you do now. You get in line, you give him your gift of tally or a gold base plaque from Tim Cook, and you pay your fealty, and then he does what you want, right? Joe says that's now legal grounds. Yep, Polestar. I think this run-up is finally the last blow in the bubble before it bursts. Yeah, I mean, quarter one, everyone did really poorly because they're buying as much stuff as they possibly can to get it into the U.S. before tariffs happen. Quarter two, everything did really well because they didn't have to purchase anything. There were no outgoing purchases to get goods because their warehouses were all full. Quarter three, tariffs are back. Now they got to start purchasing. Prices are going up. Purchases of customers are going down. And I think quarter 3 is going to be really bad. And quarter 4 for Christmas is going to be really, really bad. So, yeah. Oh, did Robert Manson get accidentally hidden on this? I don't know why he's hidden. He's asking, will it be the 29th or do they wait until GME earnings, which should be 200 million profit, because the store closure expense should be over. With the game console, it could be 400 million. I think GME definitely will post green. I mean, just with their bond holdings alone, they'll post green every quarter from this point forward for the rest of their days. But I have no clue what the rules are about mergers going into earnings reports. Not one. I don't know how it works. I don't know how one would approach it. It seems like earnings are always coming in somewhere within a couple of weeks of you possibly doing a merger. So will it be the 29th? That's a hype date. I don't know if it will be. I don't know if it will be the 30th. I don't know if it'll be 10 years from now at this point. But I do think GME will be green, that's for sure. Iggy says, Julius, I hate it here. RC needs to fuck off to obscurity. If the payment is delayed for another decade or whatever, I don't want to live here anymore. Yeah, that's how most educated Americans are feeling right now. Vernok, Houston. Is the AI bubble about to pop? Planned data centers and power delivery contracts, more like letters of intent, canceled. AI is not profitable. Just like NFTs not profitable. Just like, .com era when no one had any broadband was not profitable. This is a giant bubble. What large companies are finding is that the people who do interact with AI do so and just drain money from them. And that any price they would charge people for the use of AI is not one folks are willing to pay to make it profitable. You ask AI to make you a picture of the Easter Bunny, giving a blowjob to St. Francis of Assisi, right? Clickety clack, 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 clack. And it goes, 1 second, blah, 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 bing, and it gives you 4 images. That just costs them like $10 to $15 to do that. So, there's not getting an equal output for the input that these companies are putting in. And the one company that has an efficient AI is Chinese and will not be largely adopted across the United States, because even then it still has conditions on it that doesn't allow you to interact with it normally, because you can't get it to talk about Tiananmen Square or whatever. It's a silly system. And then eventually there'll be small niche AIs probably made by independent corporations rather than these large language models. There'll be niche ones whose entire job it is to do kind of nefarious things. I don't know if you've seen about the recent viruses that are attacking these data centers, but they are what are they called? Memoryless viruses, meaning they live in the cloud of the RAM of these centers that can never turn off, and they just gobble everything up. And they were made by AI. Basically, these dudes are like, hey, AI, you know how your entire cloud system works, right? I want you to create a little virus that will fuck it all up for you. And they're like, okay, well, 1 second, blah, 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 blah. And they spit it out. So, it's our future. Just Mammy says, for rents exploding here, immigrants are bolting. Yeah, 1.5 million legal immigrants have left the United States, so about $75 to $200 billion in GDP. Trump says he is now targeting every single solitary one of the 55 million visas issued by the United States. About 60% of those are tourist visas, people coming for things, and a lot of folks aren't going to come anyway anymore. But a lot of those are student visas, H-1B, migrant visas, etc. And that's a huge portion of our GDP. Just think about every million people is about $50 billion. more or less. It's probably more than that. About $50 billion in GDP. So if you wipe out, 10 million legal immigrants that are inside the United States, that's $1 trillion in GDP. That's 5% of our entire GDP in the United States. Gone. And it's probably more than that because if you're looking at the H-1Bs, those folks are highly skilled. They're working at places like Microsoft and Nvidia, whatever, where they're like generating like millions of dollars in revenue per worker. So they are worth a shitload more. Undocumented immigrants alone are between 8 to 15% of our entire GDP. So if you just attack all immigrants in the US, period, you're probably looking at 25% of GDP gone, which is Depression era collapse of the economy. And you're pissing off everyone around the world for fucking with their citizens, and they're not going to buy your shit. So you're looking at even bigger. There. Just maybe says AVH69 is sad you skipped their message. Where AVH69? There's Bill Coyne. There's Julius. There's Low Bressel. I don't see AVH69. 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 AVH. I don't see here. I'm sorry if I missed it. I'm on the Vernal, Julius. Oh, I haven't gotten AVH69. I'm like 6 away from there. I haven't gotten there yet, man. I haven't skipped. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Okay. Mimisiku. I like how J Powell says we might lower rates and the market just explodes. I mean, that's the type of stuff, Greenspan would be like, the market would like go one way or the other. Powell has the attention of them in this respect. Hazel Allen, Madam Maxwell said she never witnessed Trump do anything bad and is always a perfect gentleman. Grab him by the pussy. Now she can stay in the resort he moved her to unless he pardons her. Apparently, a lady who was in that Club Fed complained that Maxwell was allowed in there with everyone else because she's a sex offender. Sex offenders aren't legally allowed. So they put her to they moved that lady to a higher security prison for voicing her concern. Maxwell said in an interview in 2021 that there was video evidence of Trump doing things with young girls. So she's lying. So Maxwell's straight up lying to get this cushy stay and possible commutation or pardon of her sentence. She's lying. She's straight up lying. We know Trump is a rapey little douchebag. We know that there are credible allegations from multiple women that he's a court-adjudicated rapist in the E. Jane Carroll case, that he's done tons of payoffs to young women, purchase abortions for some. The Katie Johnson lawsuit seemed very specific and had a lot of very specific detail in it that tied Epstein and Trump to her rape as a 13-year-old. He's a pedo, man. I mean, they just busted a Mossad agent in Nevada caught up in a kiddie porn sting or trying to solicit sex from a minor or something, and they just went and sent him back to Israel. So they didn't even charge the dude. Yeah. It's gross. It's all just tied together and gross. Into the deep I6C. It feels like the people in power are just trying to crush us financially. Yep. That's exactly what they're trying to do. 608. Where's the money, Wadowski? BBY coming back as original or shitty knockoff? Shitty knockoff. Yep. And Houston, did you grab some open? I did not grab some open. I see. That's why Robert Manson got hidden. Now I see the comment. He's just upset that I talk shit about Trump. Oh well. Cilantro Garden. It's the end of America and beginning of World War III. Yeah, pretty much. AVH69. Now I'm here. There's your comment, AVH69. I work as a courier service, and I've been having a grand old time asking customers to pay the duties or they don't get their package. Yeah. Like, that's how it works. See, what? I gotta pay a tariff on this? Yep, dude. Gotta pay a tariff on it. I mean, what happens to the package? What, like, does it just return to sender? Does it go to sit in a warehouse somewhere? Do you keep it? Like, what happens at that point if they don't pay their tariff fee? No. Lobos also is here for a live. You are. Polestar. Could RC have even voted? He was definitely pro-Trump, but could he have actually voted being a Canadian? Maybe he'll buy Trump's golden ticket and become one. I don't know if he's a citizen or not. He's been in the U.S. for well over a decade because he started his company in Florida originally, right? So he's been here for a long time. I don't know. Is Ryan Cohen a citizen? Let's see here. Wikipedia, career, blah, blah, blah. Investments, blah, blah, blah. Books, personal life. I'm not seeing anything about him taking the citizenship test and being a U.S. citizen. He may just be a green card holder. He was married to an American, I believe. Right? His wife was an American. So he may have been a long-term green card holder. I don't know. I don't know if he's a citizen or not. RV608, also known as Turkish. Where's Monkey Butt? Feed her before grabbing Chulpa Tail. Well, there's the Chulpa Tail right there. Monkey is right there. Do you want a treat? You want a snack or poo? We gotta get rid of this bag. We're so close. That's all we got left right there. Just that bit. Come on. Let's do a big one. Have any big ones left? Well, that's probably as big as it gets. Well, that smell good, kitty? Yeah? That smell like things kitty likes to eat? Well, it's monkey food. Monkey! Come on. Come around and get it. Everyone wants to see you. Come on. Come on, monkey. There we go. You want to get it? You want to get it? Oh, it's right there. It's right there. Can you get it? Come on. Come on, monkey. Come on, monkey. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on, buddy. Come on. Here, come on. Come on. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Up. 1, 2, 3. Up. Come on. You got it. You do lots of running on the beach today. You're probably very tired. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's right there. Come on, monkey. Oh, your leg is too tired. Okay, I'll stay there for you. Your leg's too tired to get up there. I understand. It happens. A lot of running around today. And you're back. You're back, you little turd. Okay. Into the deep. I6 landlords are always scummy. Yeah. I would be all for legislation that would bar all companies, individuals, families, entities, trusts, etc. from owning more than 4 homes. I've said this before. You have 1 to live in, you get a vacation home, you have 2 that you rent out. That's it. That's it. That's all you get. You don't get to have 35 Airbnbs. You don't get to be some Kushner type company with 10,000 slum houses where you're just like fucking people over day in, day out. People need housing. And there should not be this thing where huge private equity comes in and buys up all the housing and jacks up your rate through collusion. That's what it is. It's private equity. It's these real estate investment trusts buying it all up and then being evil with it. And they shouldn't get to play. No, take them out. Everyone needs housing. No one needs private equity. So get rid of them. Get rid of them. You can have mom and pop run a duplex and rent it out, and that's it. You got a giant apartment building? Guess what? They're all condos now. And individuals can choose to rent them if they want to. But no one can own more than 4 of those condos. That's it. That's it. You want to be a house flipper? Do one at a time. Can't do 20 of them. Make entire TV seasons about it. Just one at a time. You flip a house, you're done, move on to the next one. Kind of slow it down a little bit. Eat your tail off. Eat your tail off, you little fatty. Okay. Fatal Wraith, some of us still lurk. Yes. We got to do no drug time. He did not actually beg for drugs. So, it's because he got his asthma medication today and he's feeling good. Idris Dell? Gut Nacht, everybody from Berlin. Gut Nacht. RV says good morning. Good morning. Hazel, love shirt, Houston. Thank you. Oh, do you have another shirt? It's a secret. Ready? Are you ready for it? A viewer sent it to me. It's a Big Dick's Halfway In shirt. Lake of the Ozarks. If we get paid, if 29th comes along, we actually get paid. We get money in our accounts. We get notice that's going to happen, whatever. We're meeting at Big Dick's Halfway In. I will get in the car. Monkey Button and I will drive there, and we'll have dinner with everybody who also no longer has to work and can just drive to Big Dick's Halfway In. We will invade Lake of the Ozarks. We will go to Big Dick's Halfway In, have whatever meal it is that they are best known for, and we'll shake hands, and we'll do little party poppers, and shoot confetti, and do whatever else it is that we do, and enjoy it. Sound good? Yeah? So right there in the middle of the country. It's equidistant from pretty much both coasts. Perfect spot. So, that work for you, Monkey? Plus, I get to see my Missouri family, who I never get to see because I'm never in Missouri for any reason. So give me an excuse to go see them. Here's Adele. How many times you said so stupid, but absolutely right about it? A lot. Lisa Seckler. Kitty, worried about you talking to yourself. Oh yeah, he's like, this guy's insane. He just turns on a bright light and talks to it all day long. All right. Here's Adele, who asked the taco question, should ask Trump about Vance's shadow coup conspiracy. Exactly. Bingo. Get his little teeny tiny dementia-addled brain rattled. Because believe me, the paranoia is there. It is deep, right? Reports are saying that J.D. Vance is working with Rupert Murdoch and Peter Thiel to overthrow you. They're going to 25th Amendment you, and they now have a majority of your cabinet on board to overthrow you. That would just cause all sorts of mayhem in the entire party. And Republican leadership is okay with it. Like, whoa! It would just be like throwing a firecracker into a room full of cats. Just absolutely mayhem. Viva Gabe 99. Is that I don't know what that is. I think it's a laughing face. The little pictures that they have for the comments, I can barely make out. It's a purple guy, I think, laughing. This secular, sad but effective strategy. Exactly. Just mammy. Until the other side regains power. Yep. Viva. You think he's going to be doing this in all the red states? I think Arizona is a goner. Yeah. Arizona will definitely fall. Chris Taylor, oh my God, speaking of Vance, got eviscerated at Union Station. Oh, they're just yelling couch fucker at him. Go fuck a couch fucker. And he's even trying to, he's in some room at Union Station with Hegseth and a couple, military dudes trying to talk about how it's important to make things safe. And some of these people out here, they don't want to make your city safe. And as they're yelling couch fucker over and over and over again. So, What's it got to do to a guy like JD Vance, who was such a poser wannabe his entire life? He just wanted to be accepted and to be loved and be part of the cool kids group. To wherever he goes, people hate his guts in a more open way than they ever did when he was a weird little poser as a child. Like, they are openly hostile to the point where if he didn't have a Secret Service detail, he probably would be Mussolini. Like, that's like, what type of hardening of your psyche do you have to be like, okay, I'm going to be president someday and I'll make them pay. I'll be president someday and I'll make them pay. That's probably the only thing he's got going on in his head right now. Usha looks like she's aged about 30 years in the last 6 months. Last November, she had like this rich, luxurious, dark, beautiful Indian hair, and it's just like this like dry bird's nest of gray hair all of a sudden, and she just crow's feet, and man, it just this presidency has aged her more than any human being I've ever seen get aged in a presidency. And we watched like Obama turn gray and wrinkly. We watched the same thing happen to George W. Bush, and just divorce him, girl. Just divorce him. Get that in the papers. Oh, Lisa Seckler. The people need power back from the techno-fascists and oligarchs. Good luck to us all. Mm-hmm. Low Brussel. That's Low B. Crazy name stuff going on, I guess. Yeah, I don't understand what YouTube's doing. Like, I'm not seeing people's names, but I'm seeing like their base usernames or something. I don't really know what's going on there. Bullsar. Think RC does ketamine, being a tech bro now and all? I think he's been high during several of his interviews. On what? I hope it's just weed, but yeah, who knows what those guys do in all those circles. It's really hip and with it to go to like some sort of shaman type thing and microdose and do your peyote and ayahuasca and go on a vision quest that tells you exactly what type of selfish animal you're supposed to be, and then you like double down in your efforts. Joe's Mammy agreeing with the AI slop thing, talking about infinite matrix there. All right. Green Eyed Bandit Elixir, Bandit Elixir. What's up with fantasy football? Yahoo has a new knockout version that might be better than Standard League. The fantasy league is up. I don't know if anyone's made a Reddit post for it yet. I think most of the folks in the league are back. But we do have like 30,000 more people in the Reddit now than we did before. So I'm not sure how many of those folks would be interested in playing. We have like, we basically could create like 1,000 leagues out of that. So 2,000 leagues probably, if they all decided to join. But I think draft has to be next weekend, right? Because the first game is Saturday or Sunday. So we're charging $25. I say we, the guy being the commissioner, it's $25. So there will be a cash prize at the end. So we just need a link. Can I send myself a link and from my phone, and then I can post one? Football, that league. Can I? Okay, sorry, they're in the chat. Everyone's talking about possible draft next weekend. I don't know how. I don't know the first thing about how to get the link from my Yahoo Sports thing to a Reddit post. So I'll say in the chat, let's make a Reddit post and see what people want to come and join. It was fun. It was my first honest year of doing fantasy football, and I got second place, so I feel real good about myself. I basically won my league fee back. It felt good. Felt like using my brain a little bit on some football. Okay. Salad and french fries together at last. Irdis, Houston, do you know about the Elephant Graveyard YouTube channel? No, I don't. Check how comedy was destroyed by an anti-reality doomsday cult. Okay. Smart, funny satire, also scary. Elephant Graveyard YouTube channel. Elephant Graveyard. Oh, when I moved, I don't know what I did with my notebook for like the checking things. So I'll have to put the Elephant Graveyard up there with the elephants. Lisa Seckler just saw on Facebook about 10% Intel. Yeah, we are becoming a socialist nation, because if companies want to do any business in this country, they've got to give a chunk of the ownership to the government, which would be controlled by Trump. So we're taking 15% of all chip sales, right? We're getting 10% ownership at Intel, right? It's amazing how all these super capitalists aren't complaining about that at all. That we are basically doing what Putin did in Russia. I guess we're Putinistas, after all. Bill Clinton that hire illegal immigrants to paint the border wall. Lisa Seckler, I'm tempted to ask it to do my obituary in Trump tweet speak. Lisa Seckler was the greatest living person to ever live, according to many. I like it. Hazel Allen 3343. Oh my God, Houston, you're kidding. They moved a woman to a worse prison for saying something about the madam. 100%. Super chat. Fer Garcia, living the V for Vendetta plot in the USA is crazy work, but you could kind of see it coming from way back 2016. Shame. We need revolution. P.S. You'll be receiving a package next week from me, HW. Keep an eye out. Oh. A package in the P.O. box. If you got cool shirts you want to send me, down there in the description is the P.O. box to send Houston cool shirts. Or, anything weird. I get lots of weird stuff. I get treats from Monkey Butt. That's probably the best things to get, or Monkey Butt treats. Makes her happy. Lisa Seckler, Patty Murray did another Trump speak post. So funny. I think it's harder to do than you think, or maybe it's just my brain. Gavin Newsom's team is absolutely brilliant. And the fact that they're doing the all caps posts in Trump speak with, thank you for your attention on this matter and all that stuff. And it's really goofy to see folks in the far right media sphere being like, is there something wrong with Gavin Newsom's brain? Why is he behaving like this? While making complete excuses for Trump tweeting like that for his entire adult life. It's classic. It's like when Stephen Colbert came out with the Colbert Report, right? He was mocking Bill O'Reilly with his show. He was openly mocking Bill O'Reilly with a satirical bent that showed you exactly just how obtuse, obscene, and over the top all of these far right positions were, and it mocked them. But they didn't understand that it was satire. They thought he was one of them, and they're like, "Oh, Stephen Colbert is amazing," and so they invited him to the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2006, somewhere in there, and he eviscerated Trump in a way that probably has only been topped by Obama shredding Trump in 2010. To the point where Republicans all of a sudden were like, he's been making fun of us the entire time. Yes, he has. Like, are you incapable of is there a test that can be done where if you can't gather satire, you're one of two things: a conservative or severely autistic? Like, there seems to be two avenues on that, and I'm not sure if it's even a Venn diagram at that point. It might be some overlap, but Uh, Robert Hurt, 8598 Houston. How is it we are just learning about the Danish government paying its MMT holders $1,500 a share? I had not heard about that at all. What? Send me a link. I would love to see that. The Danish government paid off MMTLP holders $1,500 a share. I would like to have that money. That would be $1.5 million for me, and I would like that. Danish government, pass the ball over here. I'm open. What? What? Send me a link. I would like to see that. Ripper Tripper. Ross, a reliable name in the BBYQ community, thinks August 29th will be a good day for BBYQ. Seems like it's August or September 29th at this point. What do you think? People keep asking me, like, what do you think's going to happen? I was like, September 30th. Because that is 2 years since the first shit went down, right? I have no idea. I would like to, maybe they make an announcement 29th and we get our money on the 30th. I don't know. Maybe we meet at Big Dick's halfway in on September 30th or something. I don't know. We'll see. All we can do is wait, stroke our chins, twiddle our thumbs, sit on our hands, pet the dog, take a walk. That's all we can do at this point. Polestar, you see what other pedo from Florida recommended today? Matt Gaetz said Russia should be given an invite to NATO. Russia was literally invited to NATO back in the 1990s, and they said, no. And then they started acting like dicks. So, no, Russia should not be invited to NATO. That would be like inviting the fox in the hen house. The only person who will vote for it will be Viktor Orban. Everyone else will be like this. So no. Hazel, if I were that woman that got moved to a worse prison for speaking up, I'd sue. Do prisoners have rights? I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. I know that if you're like in inhumane conditions, you have the right to sue. But I'm not sure if moving you from one facility to another would qualify as inhumane conditions. Because genuinely, you're in the security level depending upon your threat level, which is why sex predators aren't allowed in low security prisons. And this prison doesn't even have walls. Like you can like take a walk around the neighborhood if you want to. You just have to be back before, I don't know, bedtime or something. They've got people on work release. There was the Boron Federal Prison, which is in the Boron Ghost Town in Southern California out in Antelope Valley. Originally Air Force Air Station, then became a federal prison. That was such a low security prison that didn't have fences at all. They basically just lived in kind of apartments. And prisoners even coached the Little League baseball teams in the communities nearby. Like, that's how open this prison was. Definite club fed. They had a pool, tennis courts, and the whole works. This sounds like it's kind of like what this club fed is for Ghislaine. That it's like staying in a spa at this point. And there's that famous scene in Office Space. We're talking about federal pound me in the ass prison, and that one guy's like, "No, they're all bad." They're not. They're not all bad. I know a local drug dealer here, a guy named Gary Tripp. I don't talk about him because he's an asshole. So, Gary's a rich dude, waterfront homeowner, well educated. Back in the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s, he had gotten into like a cartel crowd. He's an accountant, I think, of some kind. And got busted with serious weight. We're talking like kilograms of heroin, cocaine, hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash. And he got busted and sent to federal prison. He went to the lightweight prison because he's a white upper crust, college boy accountant. He's not a bad person. He's just made some bad choices. And he also turned state's evidence against all of his friends. And so his friends got a lot harder time than he did. And he went to a club fed where during his sentence, he managed the portfolio of the warden. That's what he did. He like played tennis and he managed the trading portfolio of the warden of the prison. And now then he got out and he came to Bainbridge, where he just wants to fuck everything up. We used to have a state law in Washington that allowed you to anchor in any harbor. So if you have a boat, you can anchor in any harbor you wanted, so long as you're out of the channel, and for as long as you want. You could live on your boat in the harbor forever. And we had a really robust liveaboard community that was 150 years old as a result. And a lot of the underpaid, borderline homeless folks, yeah, they lived on boats in the harbor, because you can go buy a boat for a couple $1,000, anchor it, you got a home over your head, you got a bed, you got a kitchen, you got all that stuff. And Gary was upset. He did not like looking at those boats. And so he started lobbying the state to get rid of that. And they did, which caused us to have a gigantic spike in the homeless population in our little community. And these are the folks that work in your restaurants, in your grocery stores, at the gas station, that can't afford, a $2 million house. But they can't afford a $1,000 boat and go live on that. And we never had a homeless population. We didn't have people living in the woods, begging for stuff. And now everywhere, since asshole drug dealer Gary got that lobby to get that law passed, we have homeless people all over the forests in town, living in the gullies by the ferry, behind the grocery store. And they had homes before. They just lived on boats, and they'd row out to their boats, and they worked and they did all stuff. And now they're like, doing campfires in the forest, threatening the entire forested island with one giant mishap to happen. And it's I don't know. Of course, Gary's a giant Republican. Trumper all the way as well, and just ruining our community one step at a time. I'm not a drug dealer. I mean, I got busted with kilos of heroin once, but I'm not a drug dealer. I'm a functional member of society. Okay. We're currently on Earth 2. All right. Lisa Secular will build back better. Hard lessons being learned. If we have the opportunity. Those trying to destroy our democracy will pay eventually. I have to believe that. One can hope. One can hope that we don't have a namby-pamby milquetoast person like Merrick Garland as AG. That we have an actual, pit bull who's not going to let any of this stuff fly. They're not going to cut any deals. They're just going to crush them so that we never have to deal with this crap again. If we ever get that chance, which is not looking good right now. Yogi, we should get a hashtag trending Vance overthrows Trump. Vance overthrow pedo. I like it. Why not? Why not talk about how Vance wants to overthrow Trump and wants the presidency for himself? Just get that seed growing in his brain. Okay. Oh, I gotta get going here. Almost right to the end. Fantastic. You folks have a great weekend. We'll see more on Monday and see what happens. This is going to be a real hot one. It's going to be like 96 degrees, which is pretty hot for us Northwesterners tomorrow and Sunday. So I'll be melty. I'll be sitting in the kiddie pool out in the yard all weekend. And hope you guys have a wonderful day as well. And yeah. So peace out. Enjoy your day. I'm going to click this. Boink. That's the wrong one. That's the After Dark. Why did I click that? Shit, it's not dark outside. Well, we'll do this one. There we go. That's the actual one that's supposed to happen. Okay. Now,